Okay, good afternoon and welcome everybody to the next in our series of classes brought to you by the Smithville Area Chamber of Commerce and in partnership with the Smithville Public Library. Today we have Smithville Library Director Judy Bergeron, who's going to say a few words about the program. Judy?
Thank you, April. I'm very excited to be able to welcome all of you to this program. It is brought to you by a grant from the Institute for Museum and Library Services through the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. And it's our hope that this series of virtual training, virtual classes will help businesses be able to make their way through these COVID times that we're experiencing. And we're very happy to have Abigail here to lead us through some of the modifications that you can make to your business to be COVID ready. So April, take it away. I'll let you introduce Abigail, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Judy. I appreciate you. A couple of housekeeping things before we get started. If you have questions for our presenter, Abigail Jones, I'll actually let Abby introduce herself. But if you have any questions for our presenter, you'll see at the bottom of your screen a little bubble that says chat underneath it. Just click on that and type in your questions. You can submit those questions at any time throughout the presentation, and Abby can either choose to stop what she's doing and answer those, or she can answer those at the end of her presentation. Either way, feel free to just type in your questions for our presenter. And again, I want to welcome today's presenter, Abigail Jones. And Abby, I know, has recently married, so she may want to introduce herself with her new married name, but I will allow her to do that. So Abby, I'll let you go ahead and introduce the class and get started.
Thank you, April. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. So as April said, my name is Abigail. I am owner of an event company. I've worked with corporate businesses for quite a long time doing event planning, and a big piece of that is creating websites for either registration or awareness of the event, depending on what kind of event it is. I also handle quite a few marketing accounts where we design websites through WordPress or Squarespace. So April and I were kind of discussing some needs in town, and as Judy mentioned, especially during COVID, with people not coming out as much and just a lot of the uncertainty of what's going on and when businesses are going to pick up. I know that a lot of people's sales have gone down because the traffic has gone down. So, I think one of the best things that you can do for your business is to broaden the scope of your market and be able to do online sales, also known as e-commerce. So today I'm going to go through the process of creating a website, and we're going to create it in Squarespace. So Squarespace is essentially a platform that you can use. It's very user-friendly. I like it because it's template-based, so you don't have to have a lot of coding. They have a great resource library, so if you have questions, you can just pop your questions in there. And also you can email their support and they get back to you within a day or so. So it's really great for those of you who are intimidated by coding or HTML. Of course, if you have the money to pay someone to do that, that's always an option. But if this is something that you're trying to keep cost efficient and be able to manage on your own, I really recommend something like Squarespace. We have done an in-depth 4-part course previously on Squarespace, and April, for those of you that weren't able to attend the class, will be able to give you a link to that. I believe that those are archived, so you can go to a little deeper. But today what I wanted to do is just quickly go over, creating the website. We're gonna have to run through that fairly quickly just because we have an hour, and then we are going to use someone in town as an example for a store. So some of you may know her, but Angela Murphy of Murphy's Vintage has a shop just kind of 1 block off of Main Street. It's a great shop, lots of antiques. She also does she redoes furniture, things like that, and she's really amazing. So if you haven't had a chance to go into her shop, I recommend doing that. But she's in the process of moving her website over to Squarespace. So we're going to use that sort of as an example, so I can show you how to create products and then use those products and go through the process of essentially putting those online, go through shipping, how to accept payment. So you could do all of that online, and you can really reach out to those outside of town and market your business. So I'm going to go through a little PowerPoint first, which will take about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll dive directly into Squarespace. Share my screen with you guys. All right, so as I said, we're going to create an effortless online store for your shop here in town. You know, you could be a retail shop where you sell an actual product like Angela does. You know, she has this great paint called Fusion Paint that she sells. Or you could provide a service. So maybe you're a plumber, you know, and with the weather that just happened last week, you're trying to put the word out for your business. So it doesn't have to be a physical product, but we're going to kind of focus on that today just because the example that we're using is a physical product. So we're going to quickly go through the overview of your domain selection, which is essentially just the name of your business domain that you created. So that www dot whatever that is. For Angela, you know, it's Murphy's Vintage, I believe, .com. Run through branding, logo, how to select a theme for the website, how to create and edit some pages. We're going to focus specifically on the shop page because that's where all your products are going to be. And then we're going to add some products to the website, set up your payment processing. So this is important because if you are managing your inventory on your website, you can have your point of sale system, your register system essentially set up through your website. That way it's all processing your inventory on the back end and making sure that those numbers are correct. So when you get low on inventory, you're able to go and order that. So I'll show you how to do that. And then of course, shipping, and then how to publish your website once you get it done and upkeep of the website. So, you know, a website is very important. There's some business goals tied into it. You know, maybe the purpose of your website is to generate leads. So you want to drive traffic and engage prospects and then generate leads, which will ultimately generate sales. And then you also want to use your website to re-engage existing customer base that you already have. So the biggest thing for a website is increasing awareness. That's what we all want to do because there's only so many people in our town. You know, we really want to reach out to those around us. So you want to increase the awareness of your business. So whether you have an existing business or a new business, you really want to effectively educate the users about your product or your service and make them aware of who you are and what you bring to the table. And then ultimately, we're all out to make money in our business. So I'm going to teach you how you can make sales on the website with, you know, effective call to actions, easy navigation, and a really user-friendly website. So this is some examples of Squarespace websites. So this is the platform that we're going to be using today. All of these websites have been built in Squarespace. So you can see you can have very beautiful, easy to navigate. You can see the tabs up here, websites, super clean, not messy. So these are just 4 examples of businesses who use the templates that Squarespace has available for you. And created their own website. You know, here's 2 examples of websites I found online that is what not to do. You know, these are very messy. There's a lot of information. You don't really know where to start and you don't know what these businesses are selling. So it's really important that you keep it clean, easy to navigate, and very clear as to what it is, that being your product or service that you are marketing to your potential buyers. So here's an example, a couple more examples of websites that have used Squarespace. So you can see here, this website is a gift wrapping website. It's very clean. You can see at the top, it has all of the navigation. So if you want to specifically look at, you know, birthday or baby wrapping, it's very clear and defined how you get to those pages. You know, they have all the important information here in the header that they, you know, spring's coming up, the Easter baskets, things like that. So things that they want to highlight. So it's very easy to navigate. You can see what their company is about. They talk about, you know, their free shipping up here. So that's an example of one through Squarespace. And I will show you another here. This is a candle website. And see here, you can go and you can sort it by your winter favorites. Maybe you want to do gifts, if you want to do it by fragrance. So as you can see, it's very easy to see what they sell. They have it distinguished by categories, by fragrance. So it's very easy. So you can see that through Squarespace, you can have a very robust website. So what is an e-commerce website? So by definition, an e-commerce website is, I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth here. Basically a site where you can sell tangible goods or digital products or services online. So we're going to be creating this website in order to sell our products online. Some of the best practices that you want to keep in mind when creating the website is you want strong branding. So you really want clearly defined indication of what it is that you're selling, what your goal is. You also want to have links to social media because this is really going to help garner additional interest back to your website. So you want to create Facebook, Instagram page, depending on what you're selling, and lead those prospects back to the website. I mentioned this, but clear navigation is very important. So you don't want to go into a website and confused about where you should start, what it is that they're selling. So you want that very clear navigation at the top or at the side, wherever you choose to put that. You want, this is very important, especially if you're selling products. You want consistency and you want visually appealing product images. I'm sure most of us have gone to websites where you're trying to purchase something and they don't have great images. And they're like, okay, well, I really need to see, what the back looks like, what the front. So it's really important to take the time to take really good product images. Nowadays, even with your phone, if you have a white screen or something like that, you're able to take great images. But if you do have the budget to hire a photographer and do images, I recommend you doing that. Detailed descriptions are important. If I go to a store, I want a clear definition of what it is that I'm buying and what the attributes of that particular item are. And then of course your contact information, because if people have questions about your website or your product, they want to be able to easily access you. So Murphy's Vintage is the store in town that I mentioned. It's really great. She has kind of an eclectic mix of vintage finds. She also she restores furniture pieces and carries a specific type of paint in there, which she's trying to push. So she asked me to help her with her website, use it as an example. So we're going to use her paint and some of her products and go through the process of uploading those online so you can see how to create your own online store. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Squarespace. So let's see here. Okay, so if you go to squarespace.com, this is the interface that you'll get at the front. It kind of just gives you some information on who they are, their products, resources if you have specific questions. I already have an account, but what it'll do is it'll ask you to sign up with your username, password, very easy. And the next step would really be to go into this templates. So this is what I say, this is why I really love Squarespace, is because it already provides all of these templates for you. So you can see they have them listed over here by type or by topic. So for example, if you're a photographer, you may want to browse just the photography ones initially and see if there's any templates that you like rather than starting from scratch. You also do have the ability to start from scratch, but it's a lot easier to use some of these templates and build from those. Our best bet is really going into this online store, since we're going to be using a store, obviously, to sell our stuff. So these are just some of the options that they have here. And what you could do is you can scroll down and see if there's any that you really like. You can change anything from like fonts, colors, layout. So just try to find a good starting point that you like, and you can go in here and preview them. And it will show you what it looks like on a computer. So if you see here on the left, it has a computer, a tablet, and a phone. So I don't know, I'm sure all of us have gone to websites where you go on the phone navigation and it's not responsive, which basically means that You know, it's not responding to the device that you're on, so it's a little hard to navigate. So this is great because it's going to show you what it looks like on the tablet, the computer, and the phone there. So you can go through each page and decide if you like it. We've actually already chosen a template that we liked because this is Angela's website currently, and she wanted to kind of recreate how it looks right now. So she currently has a home page that has some information on it here, but she just wants it cleaned up because it's not aligned correctly. And then, you know, she wants to have a shop page, but she didn't have the ability to do it in this platform. So what we're doing is we're recreating her website in order to create an online shop. So what we did is I created I used one of the templates that they recommended. You know, you of course can use any of them. And I'm kind of going to go through and just show you how to navigate through Squarespace. It's fairly easy. So when you log into your account, and I'm just saving some time rather than creating an account and everything, but once you log into your account and you create a template, it'll take you to this page. And you can see over here on the left-hand side, it very easily outlines what each one of these tabs will do for you. So the pages are the pages that you'll be creating for your website. The design really goes over any sort of design element. And once you change that design element, it'll change it for the whole website. So for example, if you don't like the text, because for whatever reason you don't like the font, you can change that here and it'll change your entire website. And if you don't like the color scheme, you can also change that. So really when you think of design, just think of the look and feel of everything. That's what it's going to be changing. The commerce, this is an important tab because this is actually going to house everything related to the shop section of your website. So it'll have your list of orders here. So once you start using this as a POS, which is a point of sale, which is essentially your register. So if you use an iPad at the front of your store to take orders, or you're doing it just online, this is where it's going to house all of that. So it's going to have your inventory, your orders, customers. Currently, she doesn't have any of that. We can see her inventory here, which is what I've uploaded, but she doesn't have any orders and she doesn't have any customers right now because she hasn't started using this. In here as well, you're going to have point of sale information. And this is also where we're going to talk about setting up your payments. So how to actually accept payments and how to set up shipping and your taxes, because of course that's important. Also over here is marketing. So this is where you'll be able to look and see how many people have visited your website. You can implement search engine. This kind of gets further into what we want to get into today, but you can implement some search engine optimization, which all that means is you can use keywords to help people locate your business or to get higher up rankings on when you Google something. You can also put up pop-up things here. So this is an example of a pop-up. So for example, if Angela has a upcoming show at Warrenton, or if she wants to let people know about a sale, you're able to do that over here in the promotional pop-ups. And it's nice because it's already created layouts for you and you just have to update those layouts. This is also where if you want to do a mailing list, you know, you can update that as well here. So when people go into your website, you can have them sign up for a mailing list. So this is more anything related to marketing. If you are capturing people's email addresses, it's going to do that all right here. So you can send out emails. So like places, for example, where I like to go shopping, I usually get on their mailing list. When they have a sale, they send me something. This is where all of this is set up in here. And as I said, I'm not going to get too much into that today just because we have to get into the shopping aspect, but that's where you'll find that. Scheduling is more for hotels, things like that. And then analytics, this is where you'll be able to see what your sales are, what the traffic is, who is actually visiting your website by location. So this is a lot of interesting information here as your business grows. You can see your sales month over month. This is all capturing that information. So the pages that we really want to focus on today, after you create your website, so you can see here we're recreating after you create your website. And this is a class in itself, but I will say that Squarespace offers great tutorials, but it's very easy. You can see here when you go into edit, this is all template based. So you can delete, add information. This little plus sign means that you can add any of these things here. So for example, if you wanted to add an image or a button, or maybe you wanted to add a gallery of pictures, that's where you do that. So I don't want to focus too much on that today, but this is a template based, and you really are able to build it however you would like to do it. And you do that with this little plus sign, and you can add in whatever you would like. So you can see here, we've added in some text, some different pictures. We'll be adding in a map down at the bottom. So this is where you have the ability to do that. So what we're going to focus on is the shop section. So if you go and you want to create a store, what you're going to do is you're going to do this plus button, and excuse me, and it will bring up a list of all of the things that you have the ability to add to your website. So you can see here, you can add a blog, perhaps portfolio of pictures, but what we're focusing on is on the store. So I've already done that. I've created a store. And what it does is it creates a page here that you can edit. So you go into this page. So we'll just go back there so you can see that again. You go into the main navigation, add a store, and then it's going to bring up a page that looks like this. So these are all of the categories. Think of these as the navigation, the categories that Angela would like to list for her store. So she has the Cavallini Paper Company, furniture, mineral paint. And so these are all the categories. If you want to add a category, so we already have these built out, all you have to do is you click on the plus and you indicate whether or not it's going to be a physical item, which hers are, a digital item, which can be, like a PDF document, or maybe it's a ebook. That's what a service. So this is a service that you're providing. Maybe you're a speaker and you offer a service for $250, whatever the case is, to speak at a conference. This is where you would add that. Or maybe you just want to add a gift card to your store. So this is where you add in that product. So we'll do that just to create something. So you can see here, once you open that, it gives you all of this information, including the inventory where you have the ability to track. So what we're going to do to make it a little easier, since I've already created it. So what I did is I created this category here, which is Fusion Mineral Paint. And I have created each one of these products that Angela would like to carry in her store. So if you go to the shop button here, I know this gets a little overwhelming, but I think if we do it a few times, it'll catch on. If you go to the shop, I created these categories by doing the plus button. So we'll go over that again. Plus button, physical package, and then this is where you create it here, okay? So we'll do one under Fusion Mineral Paint, because this is the category I already created. So you can see here, I've already created a number of the paints that she would like to use. So this is a subsection. She has this Fusion Mineral Paint, and this is the paint that she actually offers. And then several of the other categories are, brushes, things like that. But she wanted one specific category with all of the paint in it. So what we want to do is I went into Fusion Mineral Paint, and I intentionally left two different ones out so we could do it twice. So you go to plus, physical package, add image, and these are the two images she'd like to use. So this is a particular kind of paint. So these are the images. When you press on shop, they're going to pop up. The thumbnail image is the first image that's going to pop up. So you just want to use, keep that in mind. So if you have, for example, a paintbrush, and you want the paintbrush to be the first image on all of them, you just want to make sure that you upload that to the thumbnail. So I have that design file as well here. So you put in the product name at the top. I just copy and pasted that. So you put in the product name here. You can add a description. She's going to be coming in later and adding the descriptions, but you know, you can put best paint ever, whatever you'd like to put there. And then you can add as many or as few images as you like here. She wanted to show how it looked on a piece of wood, as well as the paint bucket there and on the brush. So these images, actually, she gets from a wholesaler. So she was able to have really beautiful images, and it does make a big difference, because you'll see once we go back to the main page, each one of these images will be similar, and it just makes a very nice, clean look for the website. So here's where you add pricing. So let's say it's $20. So you add it in there. Well, what if you have two different size paints? Well, in that case, all you need to do is you need to go down to variations here. And this is where you add it. So you have two sizes. You just put small, large. Of course, you'll want to indicate how big these are, but just to keep it simple. You can here add any sort of variation. So say you had a different color or a different material. You could do that all right here. And each one of these words indicates a different type. So it's previewing over here what it'll look like. So I put that I have a small size and a large size. And this is showing me on the website what it's going to look like. Small, large. See there? So you apply. And then once you do that, it gives you the option to update the pricing on each one of these. So we'll say on that one, it's $20, and the large, I think it's $4.99, but, and on the large one, let's say it's $30. Okay. It's all updated. This categories section is where you can add it to multiple categories. So for example, if you had a paint brush and you wanted to add it to the paint section, you wanted to add it to the prep section, and you wanted to add it to accessory section, for example, you're able to do that in here. That way it's listed in each one of your tabs, if you will, and your buyer can easily access it. So as you go down, you can see that there's some other options here, and we'll get to those that you can update. But because this is just a simple product, this is all I'm going to do on this one, and you just go to save and publish. And just like that, it's updated here on the left-hand side. So now when I go to shop, I go to Fusion Mineral Paint, because that is the option this is under here that we created, the category, and it's listed there. So now when you click on each of these, it will show you the paint as the initial that we talked about, as the initial photo that we talked about. And then it gives us a second picture here, which is great. Shows you more what the color scheme is going to be. And then the size on this particular one, there's a tester size and a pint, and those two will change pricing based on the selection. And then you just add it to cart, and that's it. So you can see it's very easy to set this up. It's just a matter of, I mean, if you have a lot of products, it does take some time. But one of the tricks that I like to use is, because I've already inputted all this information for this Twilight Geranium, for example, I want to add in the same exact product, and I don't want to have to go through and keep adding, you know, the pricing and the different selections. So what you can do is you can click on one that you already have done. So I'll click on this one, for example, and there's an edit product on the top left-hand side. Just click on that. And there's an option down at the very bottom that says duplicate. So if you duplicate that, now I already have a copy, and all I have to do is update it with my new information. So we'll say, you know, black, we'll delete these images, and then we'll add in new images and save it. So I'll do that real quick. So here's another color, vintage gold. We'll use this as an example. So vintage gold, we'll add that. Put that title in there at the top. description if you'd like. We will add the listing here with additional pictures. And see, we don't have to go through the process of adding the variants again, which is nice. And then all you have to do is save and publish. So that'll save you some time. So you can see here that Angela has about 60 different colors of this beautiful paint here. And instead of individually inputting it every time, you can just copy each one of the products and do it, which is great. And for those of you that already have an online store, I won't take up the time today to do that, but if you already have an online store on Etsy or other platforms, if you contact me, I can tell you how to export that information and import it directly into Squarespace so you don't have to manually do that. So Squarespace actually works with other platforms like Etsy, where you can export all the information and very easily import it into Squarespace, which is amazing and saves you a ton of time. So if you have questions on that, just let me know. So I'm going to do another example of this. So we have, that was an example of the Fusion Mineral Paint. You can see here that I'm going to go down into metallic. I know we're kind of being repetitive, but I think it helps if you go through it a few times. So this is metallic paint that she has. You can see how I have this set up where you scroll over it, and I'll show you how to do that in the design section. It makes it a little bit bigger. So these are all the metallic paints that she has. I have one more that I like to add. So how we do that is the same way. You just add physical, or you know what, I'm going to show you how to do it with a duplicating so we click on here, edit, then you go to the very bottom, duplicate, rose gold copy. So I'm going to delete these pictures here just so we don't have to input all of the pricing information again. Okay, I'm going to add images. So there's this vintage gold here. And as I said, these are all product photos. She has great product photos because she gets this from a third party and they have a photographer come in and do this. So then I have this just under this particular category, but you can add additional ones if you'd like. You can add a description. Let's say this is vintage gold here. And this just copied the pricing and the size. And you just go to save and publish. And you can see here now it has that. So this is the thumbnail that I chose. So I'm going to show you how to get the correct thumbnail. So if you go back into edit, I'm sorry, click on the product and then go into edit. Edit product. So I want to add additional pictures here. So I have these two that I'd like to add. So this is going to show these photos in order. So I would like the small one first, and then the larger, and then the third one here. In this picture, if I don't upload a thumbnail, it's going to automatically grab that first picture. So that saves you a step. So you'll see here when I save this, it'll have the smaller jar there. So when I put save here, go to shop. And there you go. So now we have all 8 of the different metallic paint colors. So what do you do if you don't like the look and feel of this page? There's lots of options. So if you go into edit here, there's a edit button here on the left hand side, and then you go to edit here again, edit section. You can see here this gives you a lot of options of how this page looks. So this is where you actually change the formatting of the page. So once again, you just go to edit, which now says done, but edit here, and then you can change it. So for example, if I don't like that these are so small, maybe I want to change my rows. You have the ability to do all of that here. So maybe I want 3 per row. So you change that. So this is where you change all of that. The text alignment up at the top. I'm sorry, for the titles, you do that here. So if I like a middle aligned, I can do that. Perhaps I don't want to show the price. You can hide that. And so this gives you several options. So this is all template based. Another thing that you can do is when you initially choose your website, you choose the colors that you'd also like to use. So these are our color scheme. We kind of like the blacks and grays. So if you go through here, you can choose different backgrounds and it'll change it. I don't think this looks as good because it's not as clean, but you can see here that you have the ability to change that if you'd like that here. But we kind of like a white black background, so that's what we've been using. But you can see here, this is where you change all the look and feel over here in this section. Okay, so that is the design portion of it. If you go into I know this is information overload. I'm happy to answer any questions once we get finished. But if you want to edit just a specific product and not the whole product page, just click on that product here and go to edit design. And you'll then get a lot of additional options here for this page alone. Okay, so you can do product navigation, you can change it. So that there will give you some breadcrumbs here at the top. You can change the width of this. You can change the look and feel of this. So once again, if you want to edit the product, go into the product page, press edit product, and it won't change just one, it'll change all of them. So you don't have to go through the process of going individually into 50 products and changing them. So that's where we do that. So once again, I just want to go through that one more time. If you want to change go into pages, shop. If you want to change the look and feel of the entire category, just click on that category. You can click it over here or over here at the top. So we'll go into Fusion Mineral Paint. If you want to edit the look and feel of this entire page, you do that here. But if you want to edit how it looks under just the products, you do that by clicking on a product and then clicking Edit Design. So that's where you find that information there. And as I said, they have a really great resource within Squarespace that has a Q&A section, and you can put in questions there and the community can help, or the actual developers for this product can help, and they're very, very helpful. So what I want to do next is I want to go through a little bit of inventory because that will be helpful, and also shipping. So in order to see that information, you go into your Commerce tab here, and this is where your orders are when people are purchasing in your inventory. So this is where you're able to update all of that information. So Angela, for example, after we finish the website, she'll be coming in here, and you can see right now at default, it has all these in stock as 2. So she'll update all of these with how many she actually has in stock. So you can keep track of all your inventory in here, which is great. Because as you get low in inventory, you'll be able to restock. And there's some very simple options here where you can export your inventory into a spreadsheet so you can easily see on a weekly, daily basis where your products are. So that's the inventory. If you go over to payments, this is where you're going to set up your payment system. So some of you may already have Square. So Angela, for example, already has Square, but you can also connect this to Stripe or to PayPal, and you could do that right over here. So as you click on this, what it'll do, it'll ask you to go into your PayPal and sync it. So it's very easy. Or if you have Square, it'll go through the same process of putting in your email address and it'll connect it for you. And this is great because if you have this already connected, it's very easy to set it up on the website here. So this is where you take your payments. And the great thing about this as well is when you set up your payments, it will keep track of all the inventory. So if you're at the store, you have a sale, it'll automatically update that inventory on the back end, as long as you're using the point of sale interface. So speaking of point of sale, so point of sale is essentially just your register. that you'll be using, and you can set that up over here. So these will give you options to walk you through the steps of setting up your point of sale system, your register, so you can, this will all be connected and you don't have to manage like 3 different places. So you just want to make sure your point of sale, your payments and everything are all updated on the back end of your website. So it's kind of a seamless flow there. And then shipping is important. So for Angela, she's doing a lot of the paint. So she may do it just a flat rate, but these are all your options on shipping. And so when you're if you're doing a flat rate for everything on your website, then it's pretty easy because when you go to checkout, it'll just be the flat rate. But when you're creating your inventory, if you want to do it depending on weight, you can do that as well. So when you're creating that product in Squarespace, there's an option for weight, and that is where you would put in the weight there. So this is here. You know, of course, if you want to do FedEx or UPS, it gives you the option to do that as well. Taxes. So this is important. You want to add in your tax rate here. So most of you will, you know, be in Texas. And so what you'll do is it'll have a plus sign. You'll do the country and the state. That way it'll automatically collect tax at the end of the cycle there. Okay. So down here, I'll just quickly go through these. We went over point of sale. If something is sold out, there'll be a wait list created there for you. If you're low in stock, you can set up notifications in order for you to get emails, so you can order more stock here. So these are all places where you can, it'll just streamline the process for you. So it'll save you a lot of time. So just go through these and kind of understand what each one of these notifications and setup options are, because it'll really help you through the process of getting your store set up. And then your accounting, this will give you your sales reports week over week, daily, however you want to set that up. There also is an option to sync Squarespace directly to QuickBooks. So for those of you that use QuickBooks, it's great because it directly integrates into QuickBooks. But you'll want to keep your inventory and everything within Squarespace and then use QuickBooks separately for your accounting. Okay, and I just wanted to show you one other thing here, because we're running low on time, is if you want to create an item outside of the shop tab, I'm going to show you. So for example, Angela has some painting workshops she would like to showcase. So what we want to do is we want to create a separate page that has the workshops, but then integrate a portion where she's able to charge. That'll make a little more sense as we walk through that. So I have the page already set up, and the way I did that is I just went to this plus sign, blank page here, okay? Once you go into the page, you just go to edit, and we want to add a section. So the section we want to add is going to be over here. So you can see it gives you all these different items that you can use. So we want to put in a product here. So these are just templates that you can use. They have just, you know, pictures that they're placing in there for you to help you out. So it shows you how to look. So you can change any of this out. So we'll say workshops coming, can't type today, in February, okay? And then here it's going to show us a link to the shop now. So I'm going to show you how to get there. So what we always have to do is if you're going to sell something, you have to create an item for that. So you want to go into shop and you want to create something. So what we want to create is another item. So this is a service, really. It's not a physical package like we've been doing. So she's offering art classes. So you just pick a picture for that. I have this, see if I have a picture here. So I just randomly grab this. We'll do painting classes. So you want to title it. Just go through that same process we talked about earlier. pricing, let's just say, then I have no idea how much these classes are. We're just plugging in a number here. So we'll say $100. And then you're going to save that. But while I'm saving, I'm like, well, we need to contact information for these people that are signing up for the class. So that's really where these other customized options come in. And one of those is custom forms. So I'm creating this class, this painting class, and I want to collect information for each one of the participants. So I know how to get them information before the class starts. So you just go into custom forms here and create a new form, and you name it whatever you'd like to name it. So I'm going to just name it art class. And all I want to collect, you can collect whatever you'd like, but I just want to collect their name. So you just put in their name and then a text field, email, so they can put in their email. Okay. So we'll click on that and just press apply. So for this specific product, I have the ability to have a form connected to it. So when they sign up, it gives me their contact information. That will make sense in a second. So you just press save and publish, and that's created our item. Pretty easy. So now when we go back into painting workshops, we've sort of created this list here of the upcoming class. And this is all template based. So all you have to do is delete the information and put in the information that's relevant here. So we have a button that says shop now. We want to edit that. So we just want to, instead of shop now, we're going to put up sign up now. Okay. And it gives you a link. So now all you have to do is you click on this link. You go to shop. And then you get to actually pick the class. Well, I don't know why it's not saving there. Of course, this would happen while I'm trying to show you how to do it, but it will pop up the, oh, here, the shop. Maybe it didn't save it, but that would actually pop it up here, the class. So maybe it didn't save the class. Let me go and look at that real quick. So when they click on this, I mean, if this is working correctly, it would take you to that and the class would be listed right there. And that's how you connect the two. Let me see, maybe it's under a different category here. Try to do that again. Oh, I see what it did here. You want to add a new category, which we didn't do. So we'll add a class category. Form in, apply. See if that worked for us. So we'll go into the classes again. Edit. Now it should give us the option to sign up for the class here. There it is, class. So you save, and then if we preview that now, click on it, sign up now. What it'll do is it'll bring up your paint class, and then it'll pop up your form once you add it to the cart. So see, now it's going to make you put in your name and your email address. So it really streamlines all of this for you. So you can see how easy it is. I know it's a lot. I understand it's a lot of information and it's a little overwhelming. It's hard to fit in an hour class, but I'm happy to assist with anyone on the call if you guys want to reach out to me directly and have questions, because I think, you know, as I say, practice makes perfect. If you go through the process of adding products, it'll get easier over time. And if you already have some practice with Squarespace in general, it'll be a little bit easier to set up the shop tab. But Squarespace, yeah, will allow you to create your website, and then within that website, you'll have a shop store here. So hopefully you guys found this useful. I know we have about 8 more minutes or so. So I wanted to take some questions in case anyone had any. Let's see here. All right.
So it looks like, thank you, Abby. And it looks like you do have a question typed into the comments here. And this question has to do with how do you import from Etsy?
Yeah, so the way that you import from Etsy, let me share the screen again, is, let me share this for you real quick. If you go over to, let me get into this website. If you go over to your e-commerce section over here, so commerce, and then go to inventory, there's a tab here that allows you to import, and it'll walk you through the steps of importing from Etsy right here. So if you already have a store, it's really easy because Etsy is integrated with Squarespace, and it'll allow you to export a CSV file, which is an Excel spreadsheet. It'll allow you to export it, and then all you have to do is upload it, and it will create a page that looks like this that has all your inventory with the pricing, the SKU number, everything. So it makes it a lot easier. If you already have a Etsy or Shopify store and you want to create it in this new platform, I recommend just exporting it. That way you don't have to manually do all of this.
I don't have any more questions that came in through chat. I do have one question that was texted to me.
Okay.
And the question was, if you don't have inventory photographs that were provided to you by a third party, what do you recommend doing to create that photography?
There's a lot of, I mean, if you have something small where you're able to do at home, you know, they have a lot of things that you can get on like Amazon or even at Best Buy or something. There's like $75, 50 to 75, and it's a light box. It's a white, and that way it gives you all the same background, which is nice because it's difficult to create a really nice website if you have 12 different backgrounds behind pictures. So I would recommend you know, Amazon, of course, is easy to go to, and they will have reviews on which ones work best. But I have something like that. If you have just a service, then the website has stock photos. So if you're offering just like a plumbing service or, you know, a speaking engagement service, you can actually use a huge array, thousands of pictures that they have already integrated within Squarespace. So I'd recommend doing that. But yeah, I mean, the simple thing is your phone actually takes pretty nice pictures for products if you have an iPhone or kind of a newer phone. So I'd recommend getting one of those white boxes.
Another question provided to me before the class started was, do these storefronts make it easy for you to automatically ship items directly through the storefront?
Yeah, they make it really easy. I mean, especially if you guys are doing flat rate stuff like, or if it's smaller stuff, it's pretty easy because it gives you all of the pricing on the back end once you set up the shipping. So, I mean, of course you have to ship it yourself, but, and then if you want to use a provider like UPS or FedEx, if you have a commercial account, you can sync it directly to that account. So, all of that can be taken care of on the back end, but the shipping is fairly easy. I mean, of course, if you have furniture and things like that, like Angela does, I mean, you probably want to coordinate more just picking up, but for the smaller items, flat rate really makes the best. Like if you have jewelry or something, that's probably the best bet.
And actually, while I was talking, another chat question came in. I guess this was just sent to me. Yes. Does Abby offer her services if we want to have her build our storefront?
Sure. Yeah, I could definitely help you. I mean, I'm using Angela, you know, Angela, I'm just sort of helping because I needed someone in town and I asked April to recommend someone and I'm friends with her. But yeah, I'm happy to help. And if it's just, if you need someone to do it completely, I could do that. Or if you just need guidance, I'm happy to help guide someone through it. Once you do it, I understand, I recognize that it's a lot of information. But once you start doing it, it's really not too bad. And Squarespace is really easy to work with. You don't have to have any coding background. So
I will say here at the Chamber, we have actually brought Abby on board to build us a nice new website that's tourism focused, visit smithville.org. And she's done a beautiful job of building out a great template for us as we build in all of our content. So I certainly would recommend Abby, who is a member of our Chamber of Commerce, as well as there are lots of other great local providers that from photographers to writers that can help you with your content. If you feel a little intimidated by the idea of writing a lot of content for your page, so reach out to us here at the Chamber if you need help. If you need to find someone that can help you with some of those services, please feel free to do so. I do have one comment here from Linda Bauer, who is recommending that if you ship a lot, use a service called ShipStation. So you might want to check into that. It looks like we are complete on our program here with just a couple of minutes to spare. I will remind those of you that are watching that we do have lots of great classes coming up all the way through August. We have another one coming up on actually, that one will be tomorrow, actually, at 12 o'clock. It looks like, Abby, you'll be teaching that one too. Do you know what is the class that you're teaching tomorrow?
Tomorrow is for Vengage, which is kind of similar to Canva. But for those of you that are doing a lot of advertising or social media, anything that you're pushing out to the public, it's a template-based service that really helps you have beautiful graphics without all the work. So.
And that's a good point. There are so many wonderful products out there that are very low cost to purchase, and they make a huge difference in the look and feel of your web pages, your social media platforms. And again, feel free to sign up for all of those classes by visiting our website at smithvilletx.org and just click on classes, and up at the top, click on events, and you'll see virtual classes, and you can sign up for any of these courses through August. Again, I want to thank Abby today. When these classes go online, when Abby's recording goes online, her slides will also be there and her contact information, and she is always very gracious and happy to speak with anyone that has questions about her class. Thank you, Abby, so much, and I thank everybody else for being here, and see you next time.
Thank you.